Let's get to the futures pits this morning. Bob Iacchino of LotusBrokerage.com joins us. A lot to watch here, Bob. We got the stress tests on Friday, right? Jobless claims. Bernanke on the Hill today. The earnings keep flying. We're expecting UTX any minute. What's at the top of your list to watch?
Well, I certainly know this. I'm not going to watch Bernanke on the Hill. I'm getting so tired of watching those televised conversations between. So how much is this the fault of the Bush administration? And how much does Obama's tax policies killing us between the two parties? It is just the most annoying thing to watch. I'll look at the CNBC website and see what comes off of there. But definitely earnings is the focus, the continued, hopefully continued strong earnings, which I think was expected. You know, we all know that the equity markets are driven by earnings. And the strange thing about now is it's driven by buyers off of those earnings as opposed to just flat-out earnings. There was always an assumption that the volume on the upside would increase when earnings are strong. It did happen yesterday. We saw people buying the dip on Goldman. And I think yesterday's price action was extremely positive.
And something we can build on, or another one of these, typical earnings seasons where we start out strong and then sell halfway through?
Well, again, it has to be followed up by jobs, and that's not me saying that all of a sudden we should rush in to react to these earnings. The programs that are in place, I don't believe are producing enough jobs. I think that could turn by the fourth quarter. I am on record as saying I think equities will be up somewhere in the range of 9 to 11% by the end of Q4. So I think we could build on it, but building on one particular move is not necessarily going to be the trigger for the rest of the year. I just think yesterday's price action, the buying on the dip on Goldman, is a little bit special because it's Goldman.
Right.
But I want to see more buying on the dip on the indexes. I'm looking 1084 today, 1091 for the longer term. Get some closes above there, get some volume above there, and we could be very positive overall.
Yeah. Are the stress tests in Europe much ado about nothing, or is this something you're going to pay attention to no matter what the results are, or no matter what the transparency is?
I think that if there's an opinion that the transparency is there, I think it's much ado about nothing. I really do. It's shrouded in secrecy, sort of like FIFA with the World Cup, and sort of like the ingredients in the apple wine in Sachsenhausen there in Frankfurt. It's all shrouded in secrecy. So I think it's much ado about nothing. I think it'll come out. The majority of it will come out on the positive side, and especially for Germany. And I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of reaction to the stress test unless it's just greatly negative.
Right. When you talk about the buying on the dips of Goldman, what do you think made the turn? Why do you think it was lower in the morning, and why do you think it did reverse? Any ideas, theories as to what? I mean, was it something about looking at Goldman itself?
No, I think because it was Goldman. I mean, I think when there's a dip in Goldman, people believe that Goldman will make money quarter after quarter after quarter. They very rarely lose money. So you get a dip like that, and you see buyers rush in and buy it. It tells you from a trader's perspective that there are people looking for that bargain now, and maybe the psychology has changed slightly. You know, over the last 6 months, the psychology has been very negative. People have not been willing to hold positions. Institutions even have not been willing to hold positions, and that's because that mutual fund flows are not coming in for that long bias that the market naturally has. We need to see that come back in. That's the second half of why I think we may get an increase in toward the end of the year, is I think there will be jobs coming online, whether or not they're sustainable or at the pace that the economy needs them to be to reverse Goldman's recently decreased forecast of the U.S. GDP. That I don't know, but I do think by the end of the year we'll be very positive.
Yeah, interesting. A lot of people say the action in Goldman is a crystallization of the psychology of the market in a lot of ways. And maybe that was true yesterday. We'll see.
Yeah, I want to see it more in the indexes and not just Goldman.
Right,
because Goldman is sort of like the Apple of the financials.
Right. Bob, good to talk to you. We'll see you later.
Good to talk to you.
Bye-bye.